Good morning friends. My name is Ankit Gupta. I am from Hewitt Polytechnic and today I am going to here present a lecture on introduction to pavements and details of flexible pavement. Pavement. Road is technically called a pavement. Pavement is a durable surface to sustain the vehicular wheel loads of the traffic on a surface so that our traffic can move easily and in a proper way. There are two types of pavement, flexible pavements and rigid pavement. Flexible pavement is also called a bituminous pavement, which is black pavement, black surface is there, and rigid pavement is the cement concrete pavement. Now, why there is a requirement of a pavement? So, sufficient thickness to distribute the wheel load stresses to a safe value on subgrade soil. Next is structurally withstand the vehicular wheel loads onto the soil. Then adequate coefficient of friction must be there, so that the vehicles moving does not have any skidding effect on the wheels. Then produce least noise over the surface when the vehicles are moving. Dust proof surface must be there, impervious surface must be there, and the vehicles moving on the surface must be not having lot of jerk, and there could be a good design life. Now, what is the comparison between the flexible pavement and rigid pavement? Flexible pavement have low flexural strength and rigid pavement have high flexural strength. Now, next is the load is transferred by grain to grain size in a flexible pavement, and there is no such phenomena of grain to grain transfer in the rigid pavement. Then next is surface cannot be laid directly on the subgrade in the flexible pavement. Surfacing can be laid directly in the rigid pavement. No thermal stresses are induced in the flexible pavement, thermal stresses are induced in the rigid pavement. Expansion joints are not needed in the flexible pavement, but expansion and contraction joints are needed in the rigid pavement. The design life of the flexible pavement is 10 to 15 years, and the design life of the rigid pavement is 10 to 20 to 30 years. Maintenance cost is high and in the rigid flexible pavement, and maintenance cost is low in the rigid pavement. Now, road can be used after 24 hours in the flexible pavement after the construction, but road cannot be used until the curing is done up to 14 days in the cement concrete pavement, which is called rigid pavement. Now, you can see in the figure the flexible pavement and the rigid pavement. The flexible pavement is the bituminous asphalt pavement, which has the surface layer of the bitumen, top surface layer is of the bitumen, and the next is rigid pavement. Rigid pavement has the CC pavement, which can also be reinforced cement concrete pavement or simple cement concrete pavement. Now, these are the two figures which have the cross section of a flexible pavement and cross section of a rigid pavement. So, cross section of a flexible pavement, the lowermost surface layer is cross section of a flexible pavement, subgrade existing soil, which is the existing soil, subgrade which is the existing soil. Next is subbase. Subbase is optional in the flexible pavement, which can usually treated as subgrade. Next is base course, and next is surface course. Surface course in flexible pavement is the bitumen pavement or asphalt pavement. Next is cross section of the rigid pavement. Rigid pavement, the lowest most layer is subgrade, next is subbase course, then base course, then concrete slab. Concrete slab in the rigid pavement have the particular joints in it, which are called transverse joints, which joints are provided because due to the contraction and enlargement of the steel. Next is cross section of flexible pavement. This is a detailed cross section of flexible pavement in which we have so many layers in it. First is compacted subgrade, which is having the thickness of 150 to 300 mm, 150 to 300 mm. Next is subbase course. Subbase course has the thickness of 100 to 300 mm. Then base course has the thickness of 100 to 300 mm. Then the binder course had the thickness of 50 to 100 mm. Then the surface course has the thickness of 25 to 50 mm. Now, these are the cores in the flexible pavement, and which is very different from the rigid pavement. Rigid pavement is directly made on the binder course on above the subgrade. It does not require the base course or sub base course, but in several conditions where we have the property of the soil is not fine, property of the soil is not nice, then we have to provide the sub base course and the base course both. Then we have the tack coat, seal coat and prime coat. These are the coatings of the bituminous or asphalt coating, which has the property to binding property and the sealing of the different layers of the flexible pavement. Typical layers of flexible pavement. The seal coat. Seal coat is a thin surface treatment used to waterproof the surface and to provide skid resistance and to seal the surfacing against the ingress of the water. Then tack coat. Tack coat is a very light application of asphalt, usually asphalt emulsion diluted with water. It provides proper bonding between two layers of binder course, is generally applied on impervious surface. Now, seal coat is provided at the topmost of the binder course at the surface, where it emphasis over the all over the voids of the surface and which makes the pavement impervious. Tack coat is a application of asphalt. Asphalt application means the bitumen, the liquefied form of bitumen asphalt, usually asphalt emulsion, which is used for the binding of the base course and binder course. Next is prime coat. Prime coat is an application of low viscous liquid bituminous material over an existing porous or absorbent pavement surface like WBM. WBM is water bound macadam. Now, prime objective is to plug the capillary voids of the porous surface and to bond the loose materials on the existing surface like granular bases on which binder layer is placed. It provides bonding between two layers. Now, prime coat can be said that bonding between the base course and sub base course, which is called as water bound macadam. It is also the low viscous liquid bituminous material, which is the emulsion of asphalt and which is provided to fill the voids of the porous material in the base course. Next is prime coat and seal coat. So, you can see the prime coating and seal coating which has been happened in these two figures. So, prime coating you can see the prime coat is based on base course and it is applied on the base course, and above that there is a bituminous asphalt layer which has been provided for the proper binding of the layer. Next is seal coat. Seal coat is provided on the topmost surface of the binding layers, which is provided generally on the surface layers. Next is typical layers of flexible pavement. Typical layer of flexible pavement which has surface course. Surface course is the layer directly in contact with traffic loads and generally contains superior quality materials. They are usually constructed with dense graded asphalt concrete. Now, surface course is the layer directly in contact with traffic. Surface course is the uppermost layer of the traffic of the pavement, which generally contains superior quality materials generally called as asphalt concrete. It provides characteristics such as friction, smoothness, drainage, etc. It provides generally the skidding resistance effect which the vehicular wheel load generally puts on the pavement. It provides the smoothness and drainage, etc. Also, it prevents the entrance of excessive quantity of surface water into underlying base, sub base and subgrade. It is also properly moved and taken into the smoothness, drainage, and also it is excessive quantities of surface material into underlying base, sub base and subgrade. It provides a smooth and skid resistant riding surface. It generally provides a smooth and skid resistant riding surface. It must be waterproof to protect the entire base and the subgrade from the weakening effect of water. It is also been provided for the waterproofing of the surface layer. Next is binder course. This layer provides the bulk of the asphalt concrete structure. Its chief purpose is to distribute load to the base course. Binder course is provided after the base course, above the base course, which has the property to distribute loads, vehicular loads and temperature stresses to the base course. The binder course generally consists of aggregates having less asphalt and does not require quality as high as the surface course. The binder course generally has the property consists of aggregates having less asphalt and does not require quality as high as the surface course. So, replacing a part of a surface course by the binder course results in more economical design. Next is base course. The base course is the layer of the material immediately beneath the surface of binder course. The base course is just beneath the binder course. The base course, it provides additional load distribution. It provides the additional load distribution of the vehicular wheel loads and contributes to the subsurface drainage. It may be composed of crushed stone and other untreated or stabilized material. Vehicular wheel load is been derived on the surface course, and thus after the binder course distribute the wheel loads into the base course and sub base course. The sub base course and base course are generally provided to the sub drainage properties of the pavement and the other material or stabilized materials. Next layer is sub base course and subgrade. So, sub base course is the layer of the material beneath the base course, and the primary functions are to provide structural support, improve and drainage. So, sub base course is provided to increase the structural loading and to improve the stress distribution of the pavement and the proper drainage. It may be WBM and WMM. WBM is water-bound macadam and WMM is wet mix macadam. Water-bound macadam is when water is diluted with the bitumen and aggregate and the layers of the sub base or base course is provided. Wet mix macadam is the wet aggregate which is formed with the cement slurry in the plant and is transported to the site, and the layer of the mix is been provided. A sub base course is not always needed or used. For example, a pavement constructed over a high quality. Next is subgrade. Subgrade. The top soil or subgrade is the layer of natural soil prepared to receive the stresses from the layers above. It is essential that no time soil subgrade is overstressed. Subgrade is the natural soil which has been provided on the in the embankment to start the construction of a pavement, which is generally overrolled with the rollers and dampers which sustain the high quantity of stresses beneath the surface. Now, I will explain the different layers which are being provided like tack coat, seal coat and prime coat. So, prime coat is provided between the base course and binder course. Prime coat is the function, prime coat has the particular function to just sustain the binding between the binder course and base course, and the seal coat is the uppermost layer of the surface which provides the proper drainage and proper curb or proper camber to the road. Next is tack coat. Tack coat is the surface is the layer between the surface course and the binder course which has the property to bind the surface course and the binder course. So, this is the proper cross section of a flexible pavement. Now, here in the rigid pavement what we can see like the cross section of a rigid pavement, beneath it is subgrade existing soil, then sub base course if needed, then it is required, then base course, this is non erosive base course, then above that concrete slab. Concrete slab have the different joints in it. These joints are provided due to thermal stresses. Thermal stresses like reinforcement, when reinforcement is provided in the concrete slab, then thermal stresses are induced. Thermal stresses can be induced which is due to the temperature rising. Temperature rising like contraction in winters and expansion in the summers. So, when temperature rises, then these longitudinal joints are provided. These joints are provided within 3 to 4 meters of slab due to which it easily sustain the thermal stresses. Next, in the flexible pavement, as we have seen the definition of subgrade, subbase, base course and surface course, in flexible pavement there is no need of such type of joints. Such type of joints there is no need. So, we do not provide any joint in that like transverse or flexible joint. There is a grain to grain transfer in the flexible pavement. This is the figure which I have shown earlier also, like rigid pavement and flexible pavement. In rigid pavement you can see there are reinforcing bars. I have already explained why they are reinforcing bars. Reinforcing bars are provided because they induce the thermal stresses because of contraction and enlargement of the stresses due to heat. In winters, the steel provided in the RCC slab at the top of the rigid pavement contracts due to thermal stresses rises and contraction joints are provided. In summer season, the steel provided in the rigid pavement that enlarges and the enlargement joints are provided. Sometimes longitudinal joints and transverse joints both are provided in the rigid pavement. Longitudinal joints and transverse joints both act as a thermal stresses. In the flexible pavement, as I have earlier shown this slide, flexible pavement, the top layer is generally contains of a bituminous asphalt. Bituminous asphalt is, bitumen is the coal tar which is produced in the ore of natural oils. When we from the crude oil we extract petroleum and coal, then the extract material which has been left over is called bitumen. Bitumen is used as it is a its surface property is very nice, its binding property is very nice, its binding property is in the layers, and it is used on the surface of the portion of the flexible pavement. Flexible pavement also have the carriageway, shoulder. The shoulder are the side portions of the highway, and the carriageway where the traffic move on in the between. So, we can say that the flexible pavement and rigid pavement both are very useful each other, but the traffic friendly vehicular load friendly pavement is only the flexible pavement, but rigid pavement is not the vehicle or wheel load friendly. It is provided, rigid pavement is provided in the highways, generally expressways, and in the village roads we can say that, where bitumen is not easily available. But bituminous road is for long run road where the traffic runs easily and there is no thermal stresses induced in the vehicle wheels and there is no bursting of the wheels. I have also explained this flexible and rigid pavement earlier also. Here I will like to explain a point here, damaged by oil and certain chemicals. So, we can see that the flexible pavement can be damaged by oils and certain chemicals, and rigid pavement cannot be damaged by oils and chemicals. So, flexible pavement has the bitumen or asphalt on the top layer, where if oil or grease is poured out, then the chemicals can react with the asphalt, due to which certain defaults can be formed in the pavement. And in the rigid pavement, no damage or oil can damage the cement concrete, as cement does not react with each and every oil or grease or any other chemical. So, here I have also explained earlier a point that road can be used for traffic within 24 hours. This means that after the construction of a bituminous pavement, the road which bitumen dries up and coal tar dries up after applying of seal coat, tack coat, prime coat. Coal tar when dries up, it can be used after 24 hours, within 24 hours, or after sometimes 48 hours. It depends on the thermal stresses and temperature stresses which are in the weather or environmental condition of the pavement of the area. And here road cannot be used until 14 days of curing. 14 days like in the IS 456 2000 in the RCC concrete code, we can see that the curing can be done minimum of 7 days, 14 days and 28 days. So, 7 days means the minimum curing is done for 7 days, in which the cement gain its own property of hardening. After 14 days it sustains much of hardening, and after 28 days it sustains all over its whole capacity to retain the wheel loads. So minimum of 14 days of curing is done here. Less maintenance cost in rigid pavement, because when we make one time of cement concrete, we does not require that कि हर बार उसको हम लोग को बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है, क्योंकि सीमेंट कंक्रीट की सस्टेनेबिलिटी ज़्यादा होती है, वो ज़्यादा दिन तक बनी रहती है। एंड फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट की मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट इसलिए हाई होती है क्योंकि जो इन्वायरमेंटल कंडीशंस की वजह से बिटुमेन हमारा बार बार टूटता रहता है, ख़राब होता रहता है। इसकी वजह से हमें यहाँ पे जो है बार बार मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट हमारी बढ़ जाती है। इसके अलावा जो सील कोट, टैग कोट और प्राइम कोट की हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, ये इमल्सिफाइड बिटुमेन होता है। ये और कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ इमल्सिफाइड बिटुमेन है, जो कि हम लोग डाइल्यूटेड बिटुमेन, पानी के साथ बिटुमेन को हम लोग डाइल्यूट करते हैं और उसके साथ हम लोग सील कोट, टैग कोट और प्राइम कोट की लेयर बनाते हैं। जो लेयर्स हमारी बाइंडर कोर्स, बेस कोर्स और सब बेस कोर्स के बीच में पड़ती हैं, पहले हमने 150 mm थिकनेस की हमने बेस कोर्स डाल लिया या फिर हमें 300 mm थिकनेस का बेस कोर्स डाल लिया, उन दोनों के बीच में जो हमें लेयर बनानी पड़ रही, लेयर जो हमें चिपकानी पड़ रही है, उसी को हम टैग कोट और प्राइम कोट कहते हैं। इन लेयर्स का जनरली मतलब ये होता है कि इन लेयर्स की वजह से अंदर की तरफ पानी नहीं जाता है, जो पोर्स होते हैं हमारे, जो लेयर्स के अंदर जो पोर्स होते हैं वो सारे भर जाते हैं, जिससे कि पानी हमारा जो है ईजिली अंदर नहीं जा पाता है, जिससे कि उसकी जो ड्रेनेज कंडीशन प्रॉपर्टी होती है वो अच्छी हो जाती है, उसकी लोड बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी अच्छी हो जाती है, व्हीकल लोड्स ईजिली उसके ऊपर आ जाते हैं, स्ट्रेसेस जो ऊपर से आ रहे होते हैं, सरफेस कोर्स और बाइंडर कोर्स के ऊपर से जो स्ट्रेसेस आ रहे होते हैं वो ईजिली आकर के नीचे चले आते हैं और ईजिली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाते हैं हमारा सब ग्रेड पे। तो प्राइम कोट और टैग कोट हमारा बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट कोटिंग होती है। ये कोटिंग फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट में हम लोग जनरली इसीलिए पढ़ते हैं और ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। और ये भी जान लीजिए आप कि सील कोट जो है इसी का ही एक पार्ट होता है। सील कोट अभी मैंने एक्सप्लेन भी किया आपको। सील कोटिंग में खाली ऊपर की जो सरफेस लेयर हम लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं, जिसमें हम लोग पूरी तरह से उसको मतलब अच्छे से क्लीन अप कर देते हैं ताकि उसकी एक प्रॉपर ड्रेसिंग हो जाए और चीज़ें सॉल्व हो जाएं। ये आप देख सकते हैं, ये फिगर अभी मैंने दिखाया था आपको 1-2 मिनट पहले, कुछ स्लाइड्स पहले। इसमें आप देख सकते हैं एक डंपर, एक रोलर लगा हुआ है जो कि हमारा ये सील कोट यहाँ पे लगा रहा है। सील कोट इजली ऊपर की तरफ लग रही है और नीचे इसमें आप देख सकते हैं एक प्रॉपर वेट मिक्स मैकेडम मशीन रखी हुई है, जिसमें पहले से ही स्लरी बिटुमिन के साथ पहले से ही स्लरी डाल रखी हुई है और उसमें जो है आपका बिटुमिन पड़ा हुआ है एग्रीगेट के साथ एस्फाल्ट को हम लोग डाले हुए हैं और वो हमारा जो है ईजिली इसके ऊपर स्प्रेड किया जा रहा है। स्प्रेड करने के लिए आप मैनुअली भी हमारे पास स्प्रेयर्स होते हैं, हमारे पास ड्रिलर्स होते हैं और स्पेडर्स होते हैं, जिसकी मदद से हम लोग थिकनेस जो है अपनी कंट्रीब्यूट करते हुए, थिकनेस जो हमारी 150 mm है, 300 mm है, 100 mm है, जो भी हमें थिकनेस रखनी है वो हम लोग प्रॉपर इसमें करते हुए इसको पूरी लेयर एक बनाते हैं। नेक्स्ट हमारी जो है सील कोट खाली सबसे ऊपर की जो लेयर होती है, इसकी थिकनेस ज़्यादा नहीं होती, इसकी थिकनेस 50 से 100 mm होती है। तो टिपिकल लेयर्स ऑफ फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट, ये मैंने पहले भी आपको बताया कितने तरह की लेयर्स होती हैं। तो सबसे पहले आपका सरफेस कोर्स इज द लेयर डायरेक्टली इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद ट्रैफिक लोड एंड जनरली कंटेन सुपीरियर क्वालिटी मटेरियल। जो सबसे ऊपर की हमारी एस्फाल्ट कंक्रीट की जो लेयर होती है वही हमारी सरफेस कोर्स होती है। ये हमारी स्मूथनेस और फ्रिक्शन के लिए और ड्रेनेज के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है। ये हम लोग पहले भी अभी हम लोग ने डिस्कस किया था। इट प्रोवाइड अ स्मूथ एंड स्किड रेजिस्टेंट राइडिंग सरफेस। ये प्रॉपर एक स्मूथ और स्किड रेजिस्टेंट राइडिंग सरफेस भी प्रोवाइड करता है और इसका बहुत ही अच्छा काम होता है क्योंकि ये सरफेस कोर्स होता है। इसके ऊपर सबसे पहले व्हीकुलर लोड स्ट्रेसेस आते हैं, जिससे कि हमारा जो स्ट्रेसेस हैं उसके बाद हमारे सब बेस में जाते हैं, बेस में जाते हैं, उसके बाद सब ग्रेड में जाते हैं। नेक्स्ट है आपका जो बाइंडर कोर्स, अभी हम लोग ने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था बाइंडर कोर्स और बेस कोर्स। तो बाइंडर कोर्स की प्रॉपर्टी ये होती है कि बेस कोर्स और सरफेस कोर्स को आपस में मिला के रखें। तो बाइंडर कोर्स में हम लोग जो है द लेयर प्रोवाइड्स द बल्क ऑफ द asphalt कंक्रीट स्ट्रक्चर। इट्स चीफ पर्पस इज टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट लोड टू द बेस कोर्स। तो बेस कोर्स को सबसे लोड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने का चीफ पर्पस इसका बाइंडर कोर्स का होता है। दिस लेयर द बाइंडर कोर्स जनरली कंसिस्ट ऑफ एग्रीगेट्स विद द asphalt। उसके साथ एग्रीगेट्स और asphalt के साथ WBM या WMM वाटर बाउंड मैकेडम या वाटर मिक्स मैकेडम दोनों में मिला करके उसकी लेयर्स बनाते हैं। बेस कोर्स इज द लेयर ऑफ मटेरियल इमीडिएटली बीनीथ द surface of the binder course and it provides additional load distribution and contributes to the subsurface drainage. It may be composed of crushed stones जो boulders होते हैं वो हम लोग जनरली बेस कोर्स में हम लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं। उसके बाद है हमारा सब Sub-base, the sub-base course is the layer of material beneath the base course and the primary function are to provide structural support and improve drainage. सब बेस का जो सबसे अच्छा काम ये होता है कि ये हमारा ड्रेनेज इंप्रूव करता है, और जो मटेरियल होता है जो बेस कोर्स के नीचे का, उस मटेरियल को हम लोग बोलते हैं सब बेस। इसमें ज़्यादातर रोड़ियाँ जो हैं और जो गिट्टियाँ हैं जो कि हमारा एसफाल्ट के साथ इस्तेमाल नहीं होती हैं, जो कि हमारी सॉयल के साथ या फिर सीमेंट के साथ या फिर लाइम के साथ हम लोग मिक्स करके सब बेस कोर्स बनाते हैं। उसके बाद हमारा नेचुरल सबग्रेड जो आता है, हमारा जो टॉप सॉयल और सबग्रेड इज लेयर ऑफ नेचुरल सॉयल प्रिपेयर टू रिसीव द स्ट्रेसेस। जो हमारी जो लेयर बनती है नेचुरल सॉयल की, जो लेयर बनती है, जो कि हमारी जो लेयर जो कि हमारा सबसे ज़्यादा जो हमारा थर्मल स्ट्रेसेस और व्हील लोड व्हीकुलर स्ट्रेसेस जो हमारा इंड्यूस करता है सबसे आखिरी में। ऊपर हमारा बेस कोर्स है, सब बेस कोर्स है, सब बाइंडर कोर्स है, और सबसे आखिरी में हमारा सब ग्रेड है। तो सब ग्रेड की भी बहुत ही अच्छी प्रॉपर्टी ये होनी चाहिए कि ये प्रॉपरली जो है व्हील लोड और व्हीकुलर लोड को हम स्ट्रेस ये इंड्यूस कर सके और प्रॉपरली इसको ये नीचे ज़मीन पे अर्थ पे गिरा सके। तो आज हम लोग ने जो पढ़ा अभी तक का, इसमें हम लोगों ने फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट और बिटुमिनस पेवमेंट दोनों को पढ़ा, जिसमें हम लोग ने ये जाना कि फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट हमारी जो है ब्लैक पेवमेंट होती हैं, जिसके सबसे ऊपर हम लोग एसफाल्ट और बिटुमिन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, और जो हमारी रिजिड पेवमेंट होती है उसमें हम लोग सीमेंट कंक्रीट का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट में हमारे जो है जॉइंट्स नहीं बने होते हैं, जॉइंट्स थर्मल जॉइंट्स और थर्मल स्ट्रेसेस के लिए लॉन्गिट्यूडनल और ट्रांसवर्स जॉइंट्स नहीं बने होते हैं, और फ्लेक्सिबल पेवमेंट में हमारे जो रिजिड पेवमेंट में हमारे जॉइंट्स बने होते हैं। जॉइंट इसलिए बने होते हैं क्योंकि थर्मल स्ट्रेसेस को सीमेंट और कंक्रीट जो है इंड्यूस करता है अपने अंदर, और वो सर्दियों में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करता है और गर्मियों में फैलता है। तो इसका मतलब ये हम लोग आज हम लोग ने ये कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर में ये जाना कि कितने तरह के पेवमेंट थे, कौन कौन तरह की लेयर होनी चाहिए थी, और ये किस तरह से हम लोग फ्लेक्सिबल और रिजिड पेवमेंट का हम लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं। थैंक यू।